Everything you thought you knew about talking to women is wrong. Most men believe asking questions builds connection. Big mistake. They bombard her with, "Where are you from? What do you do? Do you come here often?" and wonder why she seems bored. Here's the brutal truth. Every question you ask puts you in a submissive position. It hands her control of the conversation. Machiavelli would call this weakness disguised as charm. Today, I'm going to show you how to talk to women without asking a single question and make them want you, be fascinated by you, and even chase your presence. Questions feel harmless, polite, even necessary in conversation. Yet, what most men fail to realize is that every question you ask chips away at your power. Each one broadcasts a hidden message. I need your attention. I need your approval. I need validation from your words. It sounds innocent, even charming, but in reality, it's desperation masquerading as curiosity. Machiavelli understood this instinctively. Those who truly wield influence never beg, never seek permission, never ask for affirmation. They command attention by existing in a space of undeniable presence. Most men are blind to this because society has drilled into them a dangerous lie. Politeness equals attractiveness, but attraction is never built through obligation, explanation, or compliance. It is forged through presence, confidence, and the magnetic allure of mystery, the kind that leaves a woman intrigued, wondering, and unable to look away. Now, picture it. You're there, fumbling with another question, your 20th attempt at keeping the conversation alive, while another man enters the room and doesn't speak at all, yet she's drawn to him. He doesn't ask. He doesn't chase. He simply exists, radiating quiet power, and she gravitates toward him effortlessly. Frustration, envy, and even a flicker of panic bubbles inside you. That, right there, is the trap of questions. Most men live in it, chained to their own neediness, never realizing that every polite question weakens their presence, dulls their energy, and signals neediness rather than desirability. The truth is brutal, but liberating. Stop asking. Stop explaining. Stop chasing. Step into the space of someone who commands attention simply by being, and watch as attraction begins to chase you instead of the other way around. If questions are the trap, statements are the weapon. The rule is simple. Speak with authority, not curiosity. Stop asking for permission to engage, to be interesting, or to hold her attention. Instead, craft statements that spark curiosity, challenge assumptions, and create a sense of intrigue. Every statement positions you as the one in control, while silently inviting her to invest her mind in understanding you. Consider the subtle power of phrases like, "I don't follow trends, I set them." Or, "Most people only think they're interesting. I won't settle for that." Even something observational can carry immense weight. I noticed something today that reminded me why most people misunderstand ambition. Each of these is layered with authority, value, and independence. You are no longer seeking validation. She is seeking insight into you. This is the subtle but profound difference. Statements communicate presence and worth. Questions communicate neediness and dependence. Actionable strategy. Before approaching, prepare 2 to 3 layered statements about your life, your experiences, or your opinions. Each should hint at depth, provoke curiosity, or challenge conventional thinking. When delivered with calm confidence, these statements pull her attention naturally, compelling her to mentally chase your mind rather than you verbally chasing her approval. Over time, this subtle shift, replacing questions with statements, transforms every interaction into a stage where you are the center of intrigue, the mystery she cannot resist solving. Silence is one of the most underestimated and potent tools in attraction. Machiavelli understood that influence often comes not from what is said, but from what is left unsaid. Most men, desperate to impress, fear silence. They rush to fill it with words, explanations, or jokes, unknowingly signaling neediness and insecurity. True power, however, lies in the pause, the space where curiosity and imagination do the work for you. When you intentionally pause after a statement, she subconsciously begins to fill the void. She starts imagining your experiences, speculating about your thoughts, and mentally investing in the enigma you've created. Each second of silence amplifies your presence, subtly shifting the dynamic in your favor. Consider the impact of a statement like, "I learned something today that most people would never understand," followed by deliberate silence. Watch as she leans in, drawn to the tension your quiet authority has created. Your silence becomes magnetic. It pulls her closer without a single question, without a single effort to explain yourself. To maximize this effect, pair the pause with subtle visual cues, a calm, confident posture, a slight lean forward, a hint of a knowing smile. The silence should feel effortless, natural, almost as if the air itself bends toward your presence. Mastering this skill transforms ordinary conversation into a psychological game, where intrigue and desire are built not by chasing, but by commanding space through quiet dominance. Most men approach women at social gatherings and immediately fall into the trap of questions. Where are you from? Do you come here often? She answers politely, perhaps even smiles, but her curiosity is minimal. He blends into the background, another voice in the noise, leaving no imprint, no spark. Now, contrast this with a different approach, a Machiavellian approach. A man steps forward with calm confidence and says, "This music reminds me of a story about risk I learned recently." Then he pauses. He doesn't explain. He doesn't chase validation. She tilts her head, intrigued. Something in his presence invites her to lean in mentally, to wonder, to imagine the story he hasn't yet shared. Curiosity replaces obligation. Attention replaces politeness. And as he continues, revealing only fragments with timing and subtlety, she laughs, she engages, she leans in closer, not because he asked for it, but because he created a psychological space where desire and intrigue could grow naturally. This is the Machiavellian dynamic in action. Attraction doesn't come from interrogation, from a checklist of questions, or from performing to be liked. It grows from mystery, presence, and controlled revelation. The art of letting her mind chase you while you remain effortlessly in command. By understanding this, you step out of the predictable patterns most men fall into and occupy a space of quiet dominance that makes women unconsciously invest in you, intrigued by the man who doesn't need to explain, justify, or seek approval. True attraction is not built on simple questions or superficial conversation. It is forged by engaging her mind, not just her answers. This is where layered statements and subtle challenges become your secret weapon. Layered statements reveal fragments of your thoughts, experiences, or opinions, carefully leaving room for interpretation. For example, most people assume ambition is about money. I think it's about something else entirely. You are not explaining fully. You are not seeking agreement, yet she subconsciously wants to understand. Her mind begins to chase your ideas, filling in the gaps, becoming invested in your perspective without you ever demanding attention. Subtle challenges operate in the same way. but they are mental sparring, not confrontation. A phrase like, "I doubt most people would get what I mean." That's fine. It's not for everyone. Plants a small tension, a test of intellectual curiosity. She now has a choice: to disengage or to mentally step closer, to prove herself capable of understanding you. The actionable mindset shift is critical. Stop chasing validation. Stop asking for permission to impress. Instead, project curiosity about life itself, about ideas, about depth, not about her. Let her chase your mind, your insight, and your layered presence. When you master this, you no longer perform for attention. You command it. Every interaction becomes a subtle game of intrigue, where your value is demonstrated through what you reveal, and her fascination is earned without a single desperate question. At the heart of attraction lies a single, uncompromising truth. Control perception, command attention. Women do not respond to questions. They respond to presence, confidence, and authority. Every word you speak, every pause you hold, every fragment of yourself you reveal signals value, independence, and depth. Influence is never granted. It is claimed, often silently, through deliberate action and calculated restraint. The key tools are deceptively simple, yet profoundly effective. Speak with authority, pause with intention, and reveal only fragments of your mind and life. By doing this, you create a subtle tension, a pull, a curiosity that draws her in without effort or pleading. Desire is never manufactured through explanation or compliance. It is created through the artful control of perception. You are not asking for attention. You are commanding it. She finds herself compelled to understand you because you occupy a space few men ever dare to claim, the space of a prize worth exploring, a presence that cannot be ignored, a mind that is both accessible and elusive. Master this principle, and every interaction becomes a stage on which you orchestrate intrigue, fascination, and silent dominance, ensuring that attraction flows toward you naturally and inevitably. Theory is meaningless without practice. In real-world scenarios, the difference between asking and commanding attention is striking. At a bar or party, most men default to banal questions like, "Do you come here often?" She answers politely, her interest shallow. Now, imagine saying instead, "I love this music." Few people get why it hits differently. Then pause. Watch as curiosity unfolds naturally. She leans in mentally, filling the silence with her imagination, trying to decipher your perspective. On a date, replace the generic, "What do you do for fun?" with something layered. "I spent the weekend challenging myself in ways most people wouldn't dare." You don't explain. You let her mind chase your story. In casual conversation, abandon the predictable, "What kind of movies do you like?" and try, "I only watch things that challenge how I think." Most wouldn't sit through it. Suddenly, she is drawn to engage, not because you interrogated her, but because you projected depth and independence she wants to understand. To truly embed attraction, these principles must be reinforced consistently. Statements always trump questions. Silence always outweighs over-talking. Intrigue always surpasses interrogation. Repetition is subtle but powerful. It builds mental patterns in her mind, ensuring she subconsciously invests in you over time. By strategically cycling through statements, pauses, and layered challenges, you establish a rhythm that positions you as a man of authority, mystery, and presence. She begins to anticipate your moves, to mentally track your thoughts, and to seek out the next glimpse of insight you choose to reveal. The more you repeat these principles with variation, altering phrasing, context, or intensity, the stronger the psychological imprint becomes. This is not manipulation in the crude sense. It is mastery of human perception and attraction, creating an interaction where she mentally chases your depth, fascination, and presence, leaving questions and neediness behind. Stop asking, start declaring, stop interrogating, start intriguing. Most men will never grasp this. They drown in questions, desperately trying to earn attention, oblivious to the subtle mechanics of desire. You, however, now know the truth. Attraction is not granted through effort or explanation. It is built on presence, control, and strategic revelation. Speak less, intrigue more. Let silence do the work of fascination. Plant statements like seeds, fragments of thought, glimpses of depth that compel her mind to chase you, to invest, to lean in without being asked. Desire is drawn to confidence, mystery, and authority, not curiosity or neediness. Here's the actionable step. Tomorrow, approach a woman without asking a single question. Don't perform, don't explain. Just speak, pause, and intrigue. Observe her response. Notice the subtle shift in attention, the spark of curiosity, the unspoken pull toward you. Most men will never witness this. They remain trapped in the noise of their own desperation. You, however, now see it clearly. You now hold the map. Use it. Master it. And watch as attraction bends to the rhythm of your presence, naturally, inevitably, and irrevocably.